being in front of the camera a lot. You're also actor, you're also a model, you're an anchor and a dancer. So, there comes a part where you are criticized for each and every role of your life. How do you deal with that, and how do you deal with your own insecurities?
I think when I participated in pageants for the first time as a 20-year-old girl, um, you naturally have to face a lot of your insecurities related to your physical self, your bodies, because you're literally roaming around in swimsuits for most of your competition, right? So you learn to accept yourself, you work on yourself, and nobody is perfect. You see so many women around you, and much opposite to the notion that you may have from the outside on what pageants are and how they work, there is actually quite an amazing sisterhood between all the contestants. And then when you see that everybody is like you sort of relate to them, and you get to know that nobody is perfect, but we're just confident in who we are, and that's how we're showing up. That's why we're able to wear a swimsuit and show up on national television. So it's more about accepting yourself and showing up as your most confident self, rather than trying to be perfect physically, mentally, or emotionally at all times. You're just trying to focus on progress over perfection. So
Right.
I apply the same rule in all areas of life.
Over the years, how has your confidence changed from your struggling days to where you are right now?
Um, I think I've always had a lot of belief in myself. That foundation has been very strong. The expression of the confidence and using the tool in different situations, I've gotten better at it over time. But I've always essentially been a very confident person who believes in themselves, and that has made me face all situations, and show up in a place like Mumbai, from hailing from a place like Jalandhar, and wanting to be uh, an actor.
Yes, making your place
Yeah,
in the
so that
industry.
you need to have a belief in yourself that you are special, you are unique, and you can achieve all your dreams. Yeah, so I've always had that. I've only gotten better at expressing it um, in different situations. For example, if you're goal oriented in life, certain phases of your life need you to be goal oriented, that these are my next set of goals. In those circumstances, you need to have a lot of confidence.
Yes.
And you need to have a faith, and you need to empower your team that we will do this, your agent, and tell them that we need to back this role.
Yeah.
That's where the confidence comes into play. But the moment you're an actor and you're process oriented, the moment I enter into my acting class, you leave that confidence aside, and you don't put limitations as to what you can and cannot do. So there has to be a balance.
So, how do you think in each role of your life is financial literacy important for a female? And how important is it for a woman to have her own voice?
Well, I think women have always had a voice. We're just expressing them more unabashedly now, and we're becoming fearless now, which is the need of the hour. But when it comes to financial literacy and financial independence, regardless of your gender, I think every person should at least have the ability to cater for themselves. Whether you use it or not is dependent on your life situations, but you need to have the ability to cater for yourself, to be financially independent. And yeah, it's as simple as that. Nothing to do with gender.
Yeah.
We're over those conversations. Seriously.
Yeah.
Whether you're a boy or you're a girl, you need to be able to cater, look after yourself, and earn money for yourself.
What's that one message that you give to your younger self, or somebody who's just, because I'm still stringent on the fact that you were 13 years old. No, I think 13 years old, or you were in
Around the same age. Yeah.
Okay, so you were a teen, and you had written down in your dream book that you want to be an actress. And how did that pan out? And how did you, as such a young self, knew that this is it? This is what you want to do?
Just I've always had that belief in myself, like I said. But something that I've always told myself, and my mother has mostly, sort of solidified this belief in me, is the fact that you just shut the noise and listen to your inner voice. As a kid, when you're growing up, I've gone through phases where I wanted people to be friends with me. And I always made sure that I didn't want to be overconfident. I was very good at studies. I was a very good dancer. So I was going around winning competitions, coming first in class, and all of that was happening. But my mother made sure that this girl should never be overconfident. So in a bid to not be overconfident, I think I slightly became a little underconfident and a little shy about my achievements and all of that, right?
Yeah.
But one thing I will tell her that I did not know at that point, which I will tell my younger self, is that it's okay to be your own best friend sometimes. You don't always have to have somebody to look up to. You can also look up to yourself. So Yeah, because now as a grown up, I feel like I'm so chill by like when I'm on my own. I enjoy my own company. I can take myself out on dates, not just the Instagram wali baatein nahi
Yes,
hai, but
yes.
in reality also.
Yeah, like you can pat your own back
Back
sometimes. कि You've
sometimes.
done good, yeah.
Yeah, you know, so that if I had as a child and if I didn't look for validation from my friends or that friendship, I would have been a little more happy.
How does your mental health play a role in that? Because being in the public eye, you are very succumbed to face the opinions of what other people take on you, your clothing, your roles, you know, whatever you do in a daily life. How does it really impact yourself and your mental health? And what do you do to kind of keep yourself sane?
You have to take care of your mental health just like you take care of your physical and emotional health. The most important thing is to be aware of how you're feeling. That's what I do. I take time off when I need to take time off, be it from anything. And when you take time off, you're sitting with yourself. The first step is to figure out why you're feeling bad. Exactly how are you feeling? Why are you feeling that way? And then you can come to what do I need in this moment, right? Sometimes I need to dance my heart out, so I'll do that. Sometimes I need comfort, so I'll just eat something nice and watch some content and go to sleep. Sometimes I'll just take a shower. Sometimes I'll hit the gym. Sometimes I'll go to an acting class. Sometimes I'll go back to a memory that, you know, makes me feel like I've achieved something in life. So it just, you need to figure out what it is, why it is, and then you can figure out how. But to do any of that, you have to first be okay with taking time off.